Coming to you from the Women's Medical Center in Dayton, Ohio, which is the abortion mill where abortionist Martin Haskell kills babies, among other abortionists here as well, I think. But this is a notorious late-term abortion center here in Dayton. It's interesting. I have a little bit of history. First of all, if you look at the building, how big the place is, how many abortions are committed.
50 a week.
50 babies die here every week. Uh, I have a lot of history with this area. In 1997, when I went full time in the pro-life movement we had the Operation Rescue national event here, and we were focusing on closing this abortion center down. And that's where my family and I were commissioned, if you will, set apart for full-time ministry. So a lot of good memories here. Obviously, not good as long as this place is open. But Women's Med Center, right? Abortion. So what I want to do, this is the second day of our Vote Anti-Abortion Tour here in Ohio. Yesterday we were in Cincinnati. We went to the Planned Parenthood in Cincinnati. Then we went downtown to Fountain Square, and our airplane tow banner was flying over the downtown as well as we did Operation Overpass on one of the highway overpasses. We'll do the same thing today. We'll be here for a little while, and then we'll head off. Today we're going to go to the early voting center. I call it the early fraud center, where it's probably not as bad as the mail-in voting, though. I mean, it's probably worse. But anyway, we're going to be going to the early voting center here in Dayton as well today, and then we'll do a overpass. And the airplane will be flying around that says Vote Anti-Abortion. Isaac, if you would, go ahead and pan over. This is our truck. Just turn around and show it. This is the truck that one of our drivers is taking out today around Dayton. This is the truck that has been all over America during this time of the election. And so we're hoping to turn some votes. That's what we're trying to do as we sprint to Election Day next Tuesday. So be praying for us. We're going to go to Toledo, and then Columbus. We'll be in Pittsburgh and Scranton, Pennsylvania on Election Day. So what I want to do is turn this over to Margie Christie. Margie is the executive director for Dayton Right to Life. She's going to share a little bit about this facility behind you and some of the other things she's doing to get out the vote for the pro-life movement. Margie?
Thank you, Mark. This vote is important. We can't emphasize that enough. And we're so glad that we're able to partner with Created Equal today to help all of us, just know that it is a vote. If we can't win the vote, babies will die. I mean, it's the bottom line. And, people say, well, that's extreme. It's not that bad. It really is that bad. I don't know if you remember in January of 2019, I brought a picture to remind all of us. In January of 2019, the state of New York passed one of the most late-term abortion laws, most extreme abortion laws, and it was celebrated. They lit up the World Trade, they lit it up. And so this is a group that celebrates death. And that cannot be our vote. We have to speak out. We cannot let this, I know we can't really talk about specific candidates. Dayton Right to Life can. So if you want to go to DaytonLife.org and check out our candidates, we can. But let's just look at platforms. Platforms are extreme. They want to appoint Supreme Court justices. They want to repeal the Hyde Amendment. They want to codify that right to kill babies into our laws. They don't want to leave it up to the states. They want it across the board everywhere. They want, and then they're not just satisfied with killing our babies. They want to take it worldwide. They want to support the worldwide killing of babies. And so this vote couldn't be more important, and we can't emphasize enough. It is extreme. It is more than we will ever see. And we don't know. I mean, I don't know, Mark, if we can even turn the tide back.
No, we're well down the road, unfortunately. But the good news is that Amy Coney Barrett was put on the court, and that is very encouraging. Many of us have waited a very long time to see something like that happen. That President Trump has put 3 justices on the U.S. Supreme Court in his 4 years. And we need another pro-life president in order to get a couple more on there, because Joe Biden has committed to packing the court, adding 3, 4 justices, which would put the U.S. Supreme Court out of reach for a generation or longer,
Right.
it would be over. I mean, it would be over.
It would.
So,
And to bring it all back locally, again, our own Ohio Supreme Court is a big vote this year. We have to support our pro-life candidates on the Supreme Court in Ohio. That'll turn the tide here in Ohio. So again, go to DaytonLife.org, get your ballot cards, find out who these pro-life candidates are, and vote for life. It will be extreme. We're not, exaggerating. It will be extreme, and it may not be anything that we can recover from. So please, we can't encourage you enough. We cannot have celebrating death in our culture, and that's what this vote is about. So please encourage, if you've already voted, get your friends and neighbors out, get a ballot card in their hand, and we need to turn the tide.
All right. So what I'd like to do here, I'm going to ask you a few questions about this building behind us. Sure. We've been battling for I don't know how long. Many years.
Since the 80s.
Really, since the 80s to close this place down. Well, like I said, I was here in 1997, and we were trying to shut it down. It seemed like we were close, doesn't it? I mean, we're always close. It just seems like we're this close. And then Haskell figures out a way to, with the help of certain people in government, to keep open. Tell us, just if you can, I know there's a lot of history here, but take us through just the last couple of years on what we have been doing, you have been doing, to try to shut this place down for good.
So basically, the facility behind us operates based on what's called a variance. So this facility cannot get a hospital transfer agreement that's required by law. Right. So they have to get a variance. So they rely on 4 Wright State physicians.
Wright State's the university that's here in Dayton.
Great, thanks.
For those who aren't from Ohio.
So he relies on 4 doctors that are questionable, but that will back up anything that happens in this facility. So if there's a young lady that we know abortion is not a safe alternative and ends up having to go to the hospital, these doctors have said, we'll back you up. So with that variance, he's able to stay licensed, technically licensed. And we were close. We, had a couple doctors leave. There was some changing going on. We had a Supreme Court decision that said the Ohio Department of Health can shut them down. Right. We had his license revoked. And then within 2 weeks of having that license revocation upheld in the Supreme Court, our Ohio Department of Health Director Amy Actons reissued a new license, new name, Women's Med Dayton, and they're back in business.
Yeah, which is so frustrating because Mike DeWine, our pro-life governor, who signed the heartbeat bill, and we were hugely, encouraged by all of that, of course. Big deal. When he appointed Amy Acton, it was like, oh, this doesn't look good. Amy Acton is a supporter of Planned Parenthood, raised money for Planned Parenthood, worked with the Obama administration, am I right?
Correct.
And so when she was put in there, we were like, oh, no. And then when given the opportunity, gave them the license. So, but she's out. So where we stand right now?
So she's out. Governor DeWine is reportedly looking for a replacement. I don't know if
I have a couple of good ideas for him. Good. I think we have some people we could
suggest. We're willing to offer those to him, and we've reached out to him and said we have some candidates for you. He came out maybe a month and a half ago with a second person, and that candidate had Planned Parenthood ties. So
it was a woman, right?
Yeah.
She didn't last very long.
No, she did
She
not.
Resigned within like 2 days or something.
She never even got before the Senate.
That's good news.
So, and we've gotten to our representatives in the Senate and say, look, we will not support a pro-abortion Ohio Director of Health. So,
so that's where we stand.
That's where we stand.
So right now, the variance, the law, whatever, it says that they have to have, is it 4? Is it up to 4? Or it's not, it's murky.
Well, the Supreme Court decision left it up
3 to 4 doctors that have to sign on to the variance to keep the place open.
Again,
right? That's
our pro-life governor, Mike DeWine, said 4 is the magic number. But that's not codified anywhere. That's not written anywhere. Okay. That's the magic number that they set up.
And right now they have 4. And so years ago, what we did is we put their faces on our truck and we took it around town for months, putting pressure on these Wright States physicians to drop to not sign on to the variance, right? And that's what kind of led to this, along with the work that you were doing. And we're going to have to do it again. Looks like Right.
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
it's time to expose these doctors for who they are, supporting child killing right here, keeping this place open. That's what they're doing. So we're going to be working hard here after the election. Wait till that gets done to try to, put some little bit of public awareness. Let's just say a little public awareness. That's all it is. And let people know that this community is not being served well by Wright State. And here's the other thing, and you remember this: Wright State University, right?
Correct.
Which is a publicly funded university.
Correct.
Using tax dollars. Wright State Physicians is affiliated, right, to Wright State University. Correct. So here you go. You got your public dollars going to Wright State University, keeping Wright State Physicians in business at some level. That's problematic already, right?
It is. And, they claim that they're separate entities. However, they run their interns through there. They run students through there.
Right. They're not
some of their offices are on campus. I mean, so it is. It's murky waters, very murky waters. And so it needs to be exposed.
Right. Well, we appreciate all the work you're doing and continuing to pressure. I know you want this place closed. All of us do, and we're working to get that done. So that's the update here on Women's Medical Center. It's not called that.
Women's Med Dayton.
Women's Med Dayton. They changed the name. They're slippery. They keep figuring out ways to stay open. But we're working and praying that someday this place will be shut down. All right. What I'd like to do is switch gears here. I'm going to talk to Victoria Bliss. Victoria is an intern with Created Equal. How you doing this morning?
I'm good.
All right. So are you tired yet?
Not quite.
All right. So we've got a couple of more days before the election. We were in Cincinnati yesterday. Today, Dayton. We'll be in Toledo and Columbus, and then we'll be off to where are we going? Pittsburgh. Well, the airplane will be in Pittsburgh and Scranton. So how's your internship going?
It's been going really well. I've learned a lot, and I've had a lot of chances to do outreach and have many conversations with people.
So where are you from?
I'm from Northern Virginia.
Well, so why are you here in Ohio? That seems like a long way to come to work for a pro-life organization. Why didn't you work for one in Virginia?
This is my chance to learn how to do activism on the streets and really develop skills to fight against abortion.
And how did you find out about Created Equal?
I was actually on a different pro-life mission trip. I was walking through the country with Crossroads, and I met Created Equal in
Columbus. We put you up for the night, right?
Yep, and I accidentally got on Created Equal's email list and learned all about it and watched all the videos. And I was
providentially.
Like,
that's providentially. Yes.
It is. Praise God.
Well, we're glad you're here. What do you think about the election? Not that. What's your thoughts? You're out and around. You're talking to people, handing out literature.
I'm not really sure. I've met a lot of pro-abortion people, but hopefully the country as a whole will realize what abortion is, partly because of our work. Hopefully they see the reality and vote against it.
Well, folks, so we're going to be going from here to the early voting center. I call it the early fraud center, but we'll be there today because we have a captive audience of hundreds, if not thousands of people who are lining up to go in to cast their vote for president and other things. We'll be there this afternoon, and then we'll be at one of the overpasses around here. I-71 goes straight through Dayton, so we'll be there as well. Hopefully, with the clouds will clear a little bit, we'll get our airplane up as well with our tow banner that says "Vote to Anti-Abortion." Also, we have a second banner that says "Unborn Black Lives Matter," and so we're going to be educating citizens of Dayton, voters here in Dayton today, the rest of the day. And then tomorrow we'll be off to Toledo, then Columbus, and then Pittsburgh and Scranton. So be in prayer for us, be in prayer for our team, be in prayer for the election, and we'll see you next time. Take care.